Dr. S. Srinatha Reddy sir for continuously encouraging to organize more programs through IAC and mentor-mentee programs. My special thanks to GNI management and managing director for giving the approval and financial support for conducting IAC events and mentor-mentee programs. The last year, 2021-22, GNIT organized totally 140 programs and got 4.5 stars out of 5 with 278 reward points. This year also, IAC we got in the Q1, Q2, GNIT got 2 stars out of 2 stars with 77 reward points. Totally, we organized 53 programs the last semesters. In continuation, today, the IAC calendar event for mentor-mentee programs, okay, with funded by Ministry of Education and Innovation Cell. We are going to organize such, in the mentee institutions such like that Balaji Institute, BVR IIT, KG Reddy, VJIT, or VVR Women's College in the title of Innovation and Startup Ecosystem for Enablers. I heartily welcome our resource person, Dr. B.S. Ramakrishna, CEO, Aspire University of Hyderabad. In his busy schedule, Sir accepted to deliver and sharing the knowledge about the innovation and the startup ecosystem. I assure that the next 1 hour you are going to aware about the innovation and the startup ecosystem. Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Dhanshekar. So it's really happy to see that you people are progressing well in creating awareness, especially entrepreneurial ecosystem at your campus. I'm really thrilled to see that. So you have conducted a lot of programs for students and other community in your campus. And once again, thanks for inviting me to share my knowledge today about the entrepreneur ecosystem. So the title of can you allow me to share my presentation?
Yes, sir. Before that, I call our mentee institution persons for sharing their views.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I call Balaji Institute of Technology coordinator. Balaji Institute of Technology and Science. BVR IT. BVR IT coordinator.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to respected principal, sir, and Dhanashekaran, sir. So I am so happy with the support of Nanak Institute of Technology and Dhanashekaran, sir, giving so many inputs for conducting activities. At the same time, 4 interaction sections also conducted, sir. And he given how to he also given presentation. So and I create awareness to our faculty and students on incubations also. So it's very much advantage to us. So
may I know all these institutions were, do you people have any incubation center, exclusive incubation centers?
Yes, sir. Our college BVRT having 2 incubation centers, sir, on electrical vehicles. Recently, Triple Department GNIT also came our college, sir, for visiting the campus, sir. And next, with the support of Dhanashekaran, sir, this year we got 50 out of 50 marks. That is 2 stars for Q1, Q2 related as of now. And we hope the same ranking will get on Q3, Q4 also next time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Chandra Prabhu. Next, I call KG Reddy College of Engineering. From KG Reddy, I call next to VJIT.
So, good afternoon to all. So myself, Dr. Vadivel, IIC convener from Nanak Institute of Technology. So our faculty members as well as students are joined for this event. First of all, I thank Guru Nanak Institute of Technology for being mentor institution for us. They conducted 4 events under mentor-mentee scheme. We benefited through that. And also we will convey my special thanks to Dr. Dhanasayaran sir, mentor institution coordinator, so GNIT. Based upon his support, so this under quote 1, quote 2, we got a star rating 2 out of 2. So for quote 1 and quote 2. The same support we will expect for quarter 3 and quarter 4 also from sir. So thank you very much,
Sure,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir. So RBVRR Women's College. RBVRR Women's College.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Dhanashekaran sir and principal sir. Myself, Nagarani, our coordinator. Sir, it's thanks to Dhanashekaran sir. Sir has continuously mentoring us in different ways to participate in different sessions, as well as sir has guided us to have 3.5 star rating for the last year. Thank you, sir. Thank you for continuous support of yours.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, any other mentee institutions? Biology Institute of Technology Science, BVRIT, AG Reddy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, myself, Dr. Vandana from KG Reddy College of Engineering and Technology. Sir, I should first thank you, sir, the way you have mentored us and whatever the feedback, whatever the suggestions that you gave us. I mean, today we are standing with 2-star ratings, a full star rating we have with us right now. Thank you so much, sir. And we also expect the same thing, I mean, further, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your support, all mentee institution, giving the wonderful support to organize all the events. So that's the reason today we are along with Dr. Ramakrishna Reddy sir. For once again, thank to all, and special thanks to our beloved principal to encouraging and giving the support approval to organize more and more program, and with our GNIT as well as the mentee institutions. In this occasion, I request all mentee institutions to take geotag photo and please submit. And now I call A. Rajesh, Assistant Professor, for giving the resource person introductions.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all. So myself, A. Rajesh, Associate Professor of Computer Science Engineering Department, GNIT, Hyderabad. Today, I'd like to introduce our privileged distinguished personality, Dr. B.S. Ramakrishna, CEO, Aspire Technology Business Incubator from University of Hyderabad. Sir is having vast experience as a scientific officer of BioNest, Bio Incubation, and also having administrative skill over Technology Business Incubator Center from the University of Hyderabad. Sir obtained his doctorate degree from Osmania University, Hyderabad in the year 2010 under zoology area. And also he has done post-graduation on virology domain from SV University, Tirupati. Sir is having tremendous skills on establishing technology and business incubation centers and also huge knowledge on startup mentoring areas also. Now, I request Dr. B.S. Ramakrishna, sir, to proceed with his valuable session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you once again, Dr. Rajesh, and many congratulations to all institutions who got, many stars, and many appreciations to Dr. Dhanashekaran who took this initiative very successfully, and so I hope it will continue forever. So now I will start my presentation. Just a minute. So did you allow me to present my presentation?
Yeah, it's already.
It's not coming.
You can share, sir.
Just a minute. My apologies. Just please wait for a while. So,
Okay, sir. No problem, sir.
now is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thanks once again, and my apologies for the delay. And so today I would like to share my views and my experience on innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem and opportunities for startups in India as well as at University of Hyderabad. So, I mean, recently everyone is hearing about the word startup. So the buzzword is, I mean, for the past 1 decade, so there is a huge and tremendous improvement in startup culture in India. So what is a startup? So what is the, I mean, is it a necessity or is it a comfort or some kind of luxury? So for anyone who wants to initiate a company on their own. So if you see the nomenclature or the startup, one second. Just it's not moving to the next slide.
Uh, yeah, it's first slide only you can see, sir. The
Yeah.
innovation. You can't move, change, sir. You can't
Yeah,
change.
it's not actually. One second, I will see that. So we got habituated with for Zoom. So Google. In India. So, what is the global scenario of startup culture, startup ecosystem throughout the globe? Now it is, getting attention to everyone. So, startup generally it is anyone who is willing to come out of the comfort zone and to, to initiate their activities on their own in the form of a legal entity. So, generally we term it as a startup. So this startup generally it starts with anyone who is going to start an activity to disrupt or to have a huge impact towards the career of the startup activities, we call it as a disruptive innovation. For example, Microsoft, you see that. So it has changed the entire scenario of the software industry. So it's a kind of disruptive innovation process. So suppose if anyone wants to add some kind of improvement or incremental changes in the process of activities, we call it as an incremental innovation. So if anyone wants to start their startup journey, so one should have come out of the box, the comfort zone, and they need to observe their nearby surroundings or the society to find out what is going on or what is the problem existing over there, and ask yourself, so why it has arisen such kind of problems. So, and you should have some kind of knowledge and skills whether you are going to give a solution for that problem or not, and to create a new kind of device or product or whatever it may be. So by combining this knowledge and cosines, and finally you need to refine or revise your ideas to give complete a practical or a pragmatism level of applications or solutions to the problem. So the fundamental, the key driver, successful factors for any kind of startup is any startup will start with an idea. So whether it is a small or a big or some kind of survey, whatever it may be. But the person should have some kind of a positive attitude if he wants to take up that innovative idea to the next level. So the third important factor, some kind of investments you need to put into that idea to make that one into a viable solution or a viable product. So in this process, you need to question yourself whether is it practically can we do it or not. So the feasibility and the resources, availability of resources is the most critical factors to initiate any kind of idea to which is transforming into a commercial products. So, and other factors like it's always the skill manpower, the team, the behind the idea. So, which is going to be a big solution for the problem is one of the critical factors. So, finally, I can say that timelines. For example, I will give you a classical example. We all know about the YouTube. So, but before YouTube, there was a Z.com, which is founded by Bill Gross, the founder of Idea Labs. So he started more than 100 companies, out of which 50 plus were the successful ventures. But it is not the right time when he introduced that Zcom into the market, because the fundamental problem at the time is in 1999 and 2000, there is no much penetration of broadband system into the public systems. So that's the major reason why it was failed. So it is very important for any startup. So at what time you are going to introduce it to the market? Are you really going to educate the people? Are you going to really solve the existing problems? Are you going to find out a new way of life with your innovative product? So, and one more important factor is the market. So you need to see the market capacities. So the target market, the target customer, who is your, your target persons. So how big your market size is. So in which, how much timelines you are going to keep so to reach your ROI, that is returns on your investments. So, and any customer will see the product quality. So the quality is much more important. So for any startup. And finally, if you want to scale up your product, so if it is a technology-based startup, so patents, your IP, intellectual property is one more successful, key driver for any successful startup. So currently we are always thinking about what are the challenges. So before starting the things, so what will be the challenges for any kind of startup? So this is the, anyone, so which will strike to the minds of a person initially. So first time people, initially they will see the funding. So if I have an idea, so who will fund that? So how to, can I make that one into a product? So we always think about the funding. And the second important, but the funding is not, as per the successful startups, if you see the scenario of the successful startups, funding is not a critical factor. So the critical factor is idea. So, and the resources. So where you are going to get your resources and timeline. This is much more important. In how much time you are going to hit the market, that is more important. And capital intensity. So how can you build your, capital infrastructure quickly within the stipulated time, so to execute your ideas. So if it is a technology-based, tech-based startups, generally there will be a technology risks and complexity. So in combining technology or, to scale up process, basically it is most of the time it is a scale up process only. So if you see the, Indian startup ecosystem, so recently we are, the third largest startup ecosystem in the year 2021 and 22. Recently, one of the global startup ecosystem reports has been clearly mentioned that India has been witnessed third largest startup ecosystem. And the figure, it's not 55,000, it is more than 65,000 currently. And our startup ecosystem is the fifth largest startup ecosystem who is currently receiving a large foreign direct investments. And we witnessed like 15 to 16% growth, annual growth in startup cultures. And especially in drugs and pharmaceuticals, we have reached 100% jump in FDI, in attracting FDI. And definitely will be in that, in coming few years, we will be in top 3 in attracting foreign direct investments. And the distribution of startups across India, if you see that majority of the startups, nearly 60 to 70% of startups are located in metro cities, out of which Bangalore, it is in top 1 position, followed by other metro cities. And in 2020, so nearly 11.5 billion funds was raised by our startups, but with the recent figures, it is nearly $35 billion in the recent financial year. So the ecosystem, especially the startup culture, started in the in the late 80s, that is in 1989. So whatever we are seeing, the MNCs are iconic companies like Infosys, Wipro, HCL, Tata, or whomever it may be. They started all these firms as startups. So generally, most of these startups are into service sector, IT service sector. So that initiative has taken off in the year 2009 or 10, basically. There is one reality is at the time of Y2K problem. Before that, so majority of our engineers, they moved to US as a, to solve this issue as a service providers. So after this, Y2K problem is over. So most of them, they came back to India, and there is an issue. So what is next, basically? So at the time, government of India introduced a scheme that you start your enterprise kind of thing, and they introduced this program, Technology Business Incubator. Before this Technology Business Incubator, science, technology, and entrepreneurial parks was established by Department of Science and Technology. That's where the startups culture has been initiated in India. And in 2015, when it comes to, 5 years back, it was really jumped into the next level. So where we are seeing all these figures, financially, or number of employment generated through by startups is, it's remarkable future. And it is expected that by 2025, nearly 1 lakh startups may be functional in India. So where they have an opportunity to, for the youth especially, to have nearly 3.25 million jobs, and more than 100 billion US dollars as an investments will come to the Indian startups. And we will be reaching in the second position. So after US, currently US is, followed by China and followed by India. So definitely we will, in the next few years, so we will be in the second position. And so far, so we have nearly 50 to 60 unicorns, that is billion-dollar companies by, startups. So that number will reach very soon, like to 150. This is our expectation. So how it will go like that? So for example, I'm giving a small example. So about internet users. So earlier, internet is it's a very big thing for basically for Indian metro city population, or especially, and it is very difficult for the rural population. Currently, if you see the situations, it's completely changed the scenario. So we stand next to China, but definitely we'll beat the China also. So the number of average time periods, so how people are spending on internet usage every day is increasing, like so this is one of the classical examples where you can meet the market very easily. You can reach the market easily through various platforms through internet. So and there is a huge traction in Indian startup ecosystem. So for example, the unicorn systems, unicorn is nothing but like a unicorn company is nothing but like $1 billion company. So for example, Uber, Byju's. So all these companies were started 5 years back and they reached to that level. So you can imagine, and the areas, the number of unicorns, the majority of our unicorns is into finance and in fintech sectors only, and followed by other sectors. So the problem is here is we need to, as a technical people, as an engineering graduates, students like you, are researchers, we need to think about the technology related things. So we need to give some much importance towards technology, because after